Hey everyone, it is Monday, April 7th. Welcome back. Welcome to the channel. So we had the Goodyear 400 yesterday, which was almost the Byron 400. He was perfect through 243 laps, but a green flag cycle. Stayed out a little too long. Cycled back second, I do believe it was. And basically, once he lost control of the race, it was all over for him. His car was great in open air. But once he got in dirty air, not so much. He was the Xfinity fastest lap, so he gets a point for that. He had a total of 56 points, the most points on the day. 2 stage wins. Like, the ending kind of made up for it, but, I mean, did we kind of miss the perfect race? Perfect race is kind of like, as Gluck said, it's almost like watching a perfect game in baseball. I don't know. I mean, the ending, I think, may have made up for that because it was a pretty boring race up until maybe it was 40 to go. Let's talk about Larson's woes. So, lap 5, Larson hits the bumps coming out of 2 is what it looked like, and just lost it. Hits inside wall. Goes to the garage, which is new DVP policy. May have cost Blaney his first win of the season. They fix it, redo the whole front end. They come out. Basically, Cliff Daniels said they wanted to get reps under the new DVP policy with the crew and just getting it all together, ready to go, and getting it back out on the track, even though they had nothing to gain. They couldn't gain 1 point. Really, they shouldn't have been out there. And to me, yes, I like the new policy of not just having 7 minutes to fix it. You take it to the garage, fix it, come back out. But if there is nothing to be gained, to me, you should not be allowed out there. You know, as we go back to Daytona, everyone was upset about Helio being in there. Well, what if he causes the big one and he destroys people's seasons or the race for them or something? You kind of... Not really, but in a way, it's the same thing. Like, you got a car out there, they can't get any points. They're going to finish dead last because Yaley, even if he finished which he did end up finishing ahead of Yaley, J.J. Yaley, he didn't gain anything from it. So he's just out there for literally no reason, pretty much. And to me, at that point, don't be out there. That's the DVP policy should be addressed to fix that situation. If you, like I said, he went out on lap 5, if he comes back 50 laps down, alright, there's a chance at that point in time you come back, someone else could wreck out, a couple people could wreck out, or maybe they have to go into the pits for 50 laps, and now you two are racing. That could be an exciting race right there. Who's not going to finish last or something? I don't know. But when you have nothing to gain, I don't think you should be out there. I understand you got, which I don't think he had sponsors. I mean, Hendrick sponsors him. So anyway, Tyler Mon tells him, watch out for the 45, check up. Larson checks up. And it's hard to tell from the broadcast view because it's head on, looking down the backstretch, so they're coming at you. But from the onboard of Larson's car, I don't know why, but he just cranked the brakes, and there's no reason to crank the brakes. I know camera, the depth perception's a little off when you look at it, so things may not be as close, may not be as far as they appear. They're closer than they appear. That's what I'm looking for. But he just hammers the brakes, and Bubba, I don't know if he probably can't. He can't see through the car in front of him. We talk about that all the time in drafty tracks. You can't see past the car in front of you. And he was close. So yeah, he hit him, spun him out. I mean, even the radio and Cliff Daniels after race said that, yeah, he slowed down way too much and Bubba basically didn't have time to react to it. But that did not stop the conspiracy theorists. Oh man, I get it. Bubba's not well liked. That's fine. But do you guys really think that they could communicate that fast from the time that Reddick got passed to the time Larson got in front of him that, hey, spin Larson? they had a code for that made up. No, that was a legit racing deal. Larson checked up way too hard, and Bubba got into the back of him. And if I had to guess, I'd probably say Bubba would rather Blaney win than his teammate, who is also, Blaney is also, they're really good friends. Probably better friends than him and Reddick. But like Denny said a few weeks back, you don't want your teammate to win. It just hurts worse whenever your teammate wins. So I'm sure Bubba wanted Blaney to win more than he wanted Reddick to win. So yeah, that was no race manipulation. It was just an incident that happened that unfortunately cost Blaney and the old 11 against the world double down back to back. Denny Hamlin gets the win, and we head to Bristol next week, which is also a good track at Denny's, so maybe he gets 3 in a row. And yeah, and Brad Keselowski, his woes continue. Lost the wheel nut, didn't lose the wheel, but he was 2 laps down. I don't think they held him for 2 laps because the wheel technically did not come off, which is actually the caution that set a lot of this in motion for Denny to win, because it really kind of flipped the field a little bit there. Buescher was running up there. He lost spots. I think he ended up getting back. Not really in the mix, but he made some spots. I'm not sure. Bubba was in the top. He was running top 10 all day. Easily top 10. I'm pretty sure it was mostly top 5. And then all of a sudden, I'm assuming this is when it happened, he got caught on pit road or something. I meant to go back and watch it, but I didn't have time. And then all of a sudden, he's in the 20s. So I don't know if he got a penalty that I missed on the broadcast. I don't know. Even Busch, Kyle on the radios said that screwed up their race, basically. Because they were running with the 11 and the 20, and then 11 and 20 got track position because of that. But like I said, I don't know. I don't think he got held a lap, but he was 2 laps down. He's 31st in points. They're borderline at the point of where they got to win if they want to get to the playoffs. However, who is turning strides? Old Ty Gibbs. He was a lap down, got it back. He finished 9th. He moves up 5 points from 31st to 26th. So they're plugging along. They can keep doing that. 26, he only needs, should be 10, but it's 9. Because Barry is 21st, but he has a win, so he's in. But, yeah, they just got to keep doing what they're doing right now. And no one, and then also, what I want to talk about, one thing I don't like about social media and all this podcast, yes, I know I'm doing a podcast. Well, I guess technically this is not a podcast yet. It's just videos on YouTube. But certain things I do not believe should be pointed out. If you notice it, you notice it. That's cool. So Denny had Bozy Tatarevic, I'm guessing. So he was on Action Detrimental last week, and he brought up how JGR teams, I don't think he said 2311, but I would kind of have to assume, think 2311 still gets their pit crew from JGR. Maybe they're finally on their own. I think they actually might be on their own. Anyway, JGR pit crew, on how their jackmen, when they release the car, they swing it behind their back, and then as they're coming around, they twist it as they're setting it down to jack up the left side. Which then, guess what? Now everybody knows about this. So now you got all these other teams that are going to be watching video and be like, hey, what's this guy doing that they're talking about? Because it sounds like their JGR teams are the only ones that jack guys are the only ones that do this behind the back maneuver. And what does Fox do? They make sure to put a camera on it so they show exactly what he does. So now everyone can see it. And stuff like that I feel like should be, if other teams can figure it out, they figure it out. If they don't, they don't. But to me, that should not be made public. That's just just like SMT, which that's a whole nother conversation. I mean, I feel like if teams can figure stuff out, it shouldn't necessarily be broadcasted for the world to know. You either figure it out or you don't figure it out, in my opinion. I mean, that's pretty much all we got on that. We'll do a breakdown real quick. Top 16 in points. So we got Byron, who had a big day. He's leading. Then you got Hamlin, who moved up 4 spots in second. Christopher Bell in third. Chase Elliott in fourth. Tyler Reddick fifth. Kyle Larson sixth. Blaney 7th. Bubba's still 8th. Joey's still 9th. Bowman's 10th. Busher 11th. Ross 12th. Ryan Priest 13th. Then it goes Briscoe, Bush, and AJ Allmendinger, with Michael McDowell dropping out. And then you got Ricky at 18th creeping up. And as I mentioned, I did not mention earlier, maybe I did, don't remember, Austin Cindric is 21st in points. So he's not doing bad after that 50-point penalty. So you take that 50-point penalty. Oh, I didn't get the screenshot of that. But I would say that probably puts him roughly, well, he's got to be in the top 20. Barry doesn't have that many points on. Maybe 16th still in the playoff. I mean, he's still in the playoff hunt. But anyway, I guess I didn't write it down. Thought I could remember it. No, I don't. But this race was pretty much boring until Blaney. I've been 243-ish. So the last 50 to 45 laps, whenever Blaney pitted and he had fresh tires and he was on a roll making his way, cut through the field, yeah, it was boring up until then, unless you were a Byron fan. And even as a Byron fan, I mean, there's maybe if you're at the track and you watch other things, but as far as TV, that was it. I don't think anything could have been done. I don't think you can do two tires at this track. I mean, Darlington's pretty rough on tires. The fall off was there, but it was everybody pretty much fell off at the same time, whether they're saving their tires or not, it seemed like. Maybe some could save for an extra 5 laps, but then it was they're the same as everybody else. Hopefully the playoff race is a lot better than this one was, because this was not good. And for the place that was too tough to tame, it definitely sure did seem like it was tame. Anyway, until next time, take care.